What's up, guys? It's your man KP67s bringing you another video today, a different video today. I'm going to be leaving the Imperial Academy videos for Saturday to finish them off, but Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are my planned days for doing character reviews on specific factions. So I want, because of how many people really like this group, I decided that what we're going to do first is that we're going to go over the First Order. Okay, so First Order Tuesdays, a little boot camp, a Sith Academy probably on Thursdays, and then we're also going to have the Bounty Hunter Cantina on Saturdays after the Imperial Academy finishes up. So, starting off in the First Order, we're going to start with the main man himself, the villain, quote unquote, of Episode 8, Kylo Ren Unmasked. So, Kylo Ren here is a First Order tank. Surprisingly, he's a tank. He hits pretty hard for a tank. And when you look at his stats here, as usual, his strength is very high for physical damage, health, and armor. These are his stats that I have him modded for right now. My First Order is not very well modded because I only really use it for dark side territory battles and defensively for territory wars, like most people would use First Order. I have his critical damage modded up. You'll see why. His potency, I don't know why I have potency as high as it is, because he really doesn't need it, but that's okay. His physical damage is quite strong for a tank. He's sitting at 3,000, so he hits pretty hard, and his physical critical chance could use a little bit of love, but honestly, with the way that he spams advantage, that's something that you have to consider with the First Order. Do you really need critical chance with how much advantage can be passed around? His armor is decently tanky. I'm still missing a few Armatech pieces which can probably tank him up further. So yeah, there's still a little bit of room to improve my First Order, just like everybody else. But, it's still pretty decent. It gets the job done in the PvE content that I need it to. So with respect to his farming locations, Kylo Ren is very free-to-play farmable friendly. He is on a 10 energy cantina node, battle 3F. In this case, both himself and his ship, the TIE Silencer, are located here, and the drop rates are actually pretty good. It's pretty quick to farm him. I had already actually previously farmed him out of shipments, but his TIE Silencer came very quickly. I think it was like maybe 3 weeks before I had it done. So, that was starting from like pure scratch unlock from his event. So there's definitely a quick farm in Kylo Ren Unmasked. With respect to Kylo Ren's gears are kinda ugly. He needs 6 stun cuffs, he needs 5 Mark III Carbantes, and he needs 3 of the Mark IV Cheetaks. Obviously, he is a tanky character, so the Carbantes and the Cheetaks kind of make sense. The stun cuffs are there because, again, he's also a damage dealer, so it makes sense that he would need so many cuffs. But it's still kind of annoying, It's a little, ooh. Moving on from here, we go into his abilities. His first ability here is Aggressive Strike. Deal physical damage to the target enemy and inflict tenacity down for 2 turns. If the target was already debuffed and it is Kylo's turn, he gains Taunt. So, on the initial hit, he can inflict tenacity down, but if he hits somebody who already had a debuff on them, defense down, or something along those lines, Kylo Ren will gain taunt then in that case, which kind of turns him into this really cool semi-auto taunter, turned full auto taunter when we get to his unique, but we'll get there. His first special here is an amazing one, Halt. Dispels all buffs on the target enemy and stuns them for 2 turns. Kylo Ren recovers 10% health and gains taunt for a turn. This attack cannot be evaded or resisted. So Kylo Ren basically immediately just decides, okay, you're just not going to move for 2 turns, and shuts somebody down completely for 2 turns, and gives himself a taunt. So again, kind of a pseudo auto taunt for a bit of time, especially if Kylo Ren is fast. The beauty behind this is that you do not need much potency here because this attack cannot be evaded or resisted. So once he hits it, he hits it. The only character I've ever seen quote-unquote resisted is Jedi Training Rey when she has her, I think, first unique zeta. I forget its name. but she carries a 40% chance to just automatically cleanse herself, and that's about the only time I've ever seen Kylo Ren's stun kind of fail in that case. His second special here is Focused Rage. Deal physical damage to the target enemy and recover health equal to the damage dealt. If the target is stunned, deal double damage. This is a solid special. He does quite a bit of damage on this. When you can get that double damage, and if he happens to crit, he can hit for about 40 to 50k, depending on how you have him modded. It's a very strong move, and it's kind of like a little Hail Mary move to kind of like save him if he's running low on health, or just to do a ton of damage to somebody. So it's a really powerful move. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, which kind of sucks, but honestly, with the amount of control Crew has, it's pretty easy to, like, you know, just wait it out until you can use Focused Rage again. His leadership here is Merciless Pursuit. First order allies have a plus 40% critical damage and plus 30 speed. So real fast and real hard hitting. When a first order ally scores a critical hit, they gain 20% turn meter. That's pretty clutch because of the amount of advantage that gets spammed out over the course of the battle. When a first order ally gains a status effect, they recover 5% health and 5% protection. This is a money portion of his Zeta, because the First Order, what they lacked the most was something that would allow them all to recover health and protection. They needed some sort of a healer cleanser, and Crew to some extent covers that role with his Zeta in this case. Crew significantly speeds up the First Order, so that way everybody can be able to make a lot of moves very quickly, as well as the fact that to make up for Phasma's leadership, where she calls a bunch of assists, this increases the First Order's damage output significantly in this case. Overall, Crew is a substantially better lead to Captain Phasma. Captain Phasma we'll get to, but suffice to say that Captain Phasma's really outdated and just kind of like on the bench now at this point. His unique here, which I don't have Zeta'd yet, not yet. And unfortunately, I don't think I will because I have other priorities right now, but I'll get around to it. Scarred here in this case. So when Kylo takes damage, he recovers 8% health, and a random First Order ally who doesn't have it gains advantage for 2 turns. Kylo has a plus 50% counter chance and takes reduced damage from percent of health damage effects. So the reduced damage is much similar to the OG Kylo effect, where they just don't take damage from plague, from dots, from exposes. Like, it's like that percent health damage effect doesn't affect them, which is really, really cool in that case, as well as the fact that Kylo can counter, and if he counters onto a debuffed character, he can automatically taunt. There's like this perpetual auto taunt then that Kylo Ren can carry. As well as the fact that, especially in the Sith raid, if you put Unbreakable Will on him and Nihilus annihilates him and then just hits him a bunch of times, he loses all of his health and protection. But it's funny to see that when Scion attacks him and puts pain on, or Nihilus attacks him, how much health and protection Crew comes back with. You can actually get to like half level of protection of health just by the number of hits that Crew can take from those two when Unbreakable Will is up. His Zeta here is the auto taunt component. So Kylo gains taunt for a turn at the start of each encounter, and while he has a taunt, his counter chance goes to 100%. So he will always, if everybody is debuffed, he will always have a taunt on himself, which is crazy. So he's a very solid tank in this case, a very solid First Order auto taunter, which is something the First Order really did need, and I'm glad that Kylo Ren fills that role. So when we look at his mods here, my mods are a little bit of a hodgepodge, like I said. I do recommend for critical damage, First Order is all about critical damage. You want to maximize out that critical damage as much as you possibly can. I have critical damage there, I have speed there, I have potency here, so this is something that I gotta switch, actually, because he does not need the potency whatsoever. And then a rando health mod just kind of sit, like I said, he's not modded very well. The only part here that I guess he's got some modding here is critical damage. With respect to his secondaries, obviously speed is a big one. Obviously protection's a big one. I would like to see a more critical chance, and probably between speed, protection, critical chance, probably make him a little bit more offensive and add in offense. But if you happen to get a defense, a flat defense roll, like a +8 defense in this case or higher, you know, he's a tank. That's not going to hurt him. So, you know, you have some flexibility, but I would say the big three that you would want to have on him passively would be speed, protection, and critical chance, just to keep his critical damage up. So, with respect to Kylo Ren's uses, Kylo Ren can be used anywhere. He's actually been a good force in rejuvenating a lot of people's First Order PvP teams. I know that there are a lot of people who love the First Order who were waiting for a character like this, and Crew did not disappoint. You know, the First Order still has some problems maintaining itself on defense, but offensively, from what I have seen and from what I have heard, Crew and the First Order are beastly, especially when you decide to go for the triple stun team that has been showcased before by Game Changers, where that's the Special Forces TIE Pilot, regular Kylo, and Unmasked Kylo. It is so much fun how much control you can have with the amount of stunning that you can do. He's also very good in the dark side territory battles. Since I got him up with the rest of my First Order, I can clear days 1 through 6. That will come in another video actually, where I talk about DSTB teams, but he's great for TSTB. Defensively on territory wars, he's great. Offensively, he's great. He's really, really good in a lot of roles, and that really heightens his importance as a must-farm character to me. In addition to the fact that he has a crazy strong ship, the TIE Silencer, but I'll get into the TIE Silencer in its own ship-based video with a whole bunch of other ships too. So yeah, guys, that concludes this review of Kylo Ren Unmasked. Overall, he is an amazing First Order character. If he is not part of your First Order roster, make him your First Order roster priority, because his lead is a game changer for the First Order. His abilities are great, and he will go the distance for whatever you need him to do for the First Order. All right, guys, thanks. Have a good day.